Welcome back to part two. Hopefully we're going to finish off this snake game. So what I'm going to do now is put the rest of the components here. We've got a couple of resistors here, power switch and loudspeaker, and then that'll be the base here finished. Then we'll put the resistors in, and finally the matrix at the top. So let's have a quick look at the switch. It's a little side switch that comes with the kit, and that just pops on here. Like that. And we can solder that in place. So first of all, I'll just do the outside ones just to hold it in place. There we go, and then I'll do the actual connections to the circuit board. There we go, that's that done. And now we'll put on the power connections. It's just this little connection here, just a plus and minus, so we just pop that on. Oops. Okay, so that's just a blob of solder just to hold it in place. There we go. So that's got the switch and the power connection done. So next thing we can put on is the loudspeaker, which is down there. Now you'll see there's a positive, there's a plus on the circuit board, and on the speaker itself, it's a bit difficult to see on camera, but on the speaker itself there's a little plus on this side as well. So now that this leg is a plus, so I'll put that on. Okay, let's get that soldered up. There we go. So the only thing we've finished off now is a resistor here and resistor there. So 21 down there is a 220. So we just get that one out. And the 220 is the same as all these across here. Pop that one on now. And R19, which is down here, is a 10K. So let's get our tester out. $9930. So that's all the components on the bottom here done. If you're wondering what that is in there, that's a bit of a, so you can program the chip if you want, which we're not going to do that. That's all the components on the bottom done. The next thing we're going to do is the resistors up there. Right, so these are all the resistors on this little bit of card here. So we're going to put all 8 across there. Okay, so just to show you, okay, so it's looking for a 220, so 218, that's close enough. So that's how I know that the 220s will go across here. Now, what I was doing earlier on, if you see that that leg hasn't quite gone in the hole properly, just zoom in for there so you can have a quick look. There we go. So all I'm going to do is flip it over, keep my finger there, and just very gently just pull it through like that. Bend all the legs back slightly, and there they all are, nice and flat. So let's get them soldered up as well. There we are. There we go, I just tidying those legs up a bit. So that's got all the resistors done. So that's resistors across here, the final components on here. So it looks like now everything, all the components are in place. The next thing we need to look at is the matrix that goes up there. So looking at the circuit board, first of all we can see that all the resistor values and capacitor values, everything is listed here. So it may be worth, if you're making one of these kits up, taking a photograph of this before you put this matrix on, just in case you want to check anything. And I will be putting a picture at the end of the video for you to have a look at. You'll see that pin number 1 is shown here, and also that that connector is square and all the rest of them are round. So we know that that is pin number 1. So the next thing we need to do is to work out which is pin number 1 on here. Now, unfortunately, it's not marked, so we don't know whereabouts it is. So this is how we work it out. First of all, on this side, there's a little blip just there. Now, that little blip is not on any of the sides. Also, there's some writing on here as well, which makes me think that this is an important side. And by doing a bit of research, I found out that if you use a multimeter on it and you put it across pin number 1 and pin number 16, then one of the LEDs will light up, be the 5th one down on the end column. So let's see if we can work that out. So I think that one there is going to be pin number 1. So let's test the theory. So this is the multimeter, and we've got it in continuity mode. Oops. That means that if I put the two prongs together, you get a noise. So I'm thinking that that one is positive just there, and that one, oops, bent it a bit. Right, so I reckon that one's pin number 1. And the one on the other side is pin number 16. And there we have a light. So if I turn it over, so that's testing between that one and that one. And we have a light. So we know that that one there is definitely pin number 1 to the left of that little marker. So I've taken the circuit board off the vise for the time being, and we're going to try and fit this on. So remember I said that with pin number 1 is going to be this left hand side of that little marker, and we also notice that on the circuit board here all those are silver, which are solder points, apart from that one. So we need to make sure that the legs start that side, not try and get one in there. That's just a through hole for the other side. So let's give it a blast. So pin number 1 goes to pin number 1 on the board. Just lining up the legs at the back. Almost there. Here we go. That's nicely in. Ready to solder up at the back. Just to show you, there's that little marker down there, so we know that pin number 1 was this left hand side. So we've got it back in the vise now, so what we need to do is just solder those pins up. So let's pop it over. I'm just going to do the opposites just to hold it in place, like that, and then we'll solder up. Now again, I'm going to do every other leg, just to try and keep the heat down a bit. So just double checking to make sure all the legs are soldered in there nicely, which looks like they are. Good. So that's got all those done. Just down here. So the last thing we need to do now is to put the IC in here. So this is the IC, and as before we have a little notch, little cutout just here, and that lines up with the cutout on the IC holder just there. So let's put that down first of all. Just double check with our little tool here to make sure that the legs are straight. Checking to make sure I've got it lined up right. Now, although the legs may be straight, might need a little bit of adjustment. So I'm just going to very gently just press on the legs all together, just pushing them in very slightly. Just needs a little bit more. I just noticed that that one's slightly wonky, so let's just straighten that one out. There we are. Great, so just double check every time you do this with a big IC, just double check to make sure you got all the legs in and none of them are bent, like that. Great. So next thing is power. So this is the battery pack that we got with the kit. So we just need to solder up a couple of connections for it. We can quickly do that now. Twist them together. And this one. Go. Blob of solder on there, so it'll come off again. Yes, it has. Let's do that again. Yeah, just better. let's hold that in place. So, let's bring our game back over. And the moment of truth, is it going to work? So we've got positive and negative on the board, and let's have a quick look. That's positive. That's negative. Okay, let's switch her on. Oh, that's a good start. See if it works. Aha. Yeah, I can see that works. Now I wonder what happens if we go off the edge of the board. See what happens then. Ah, okay, so it resets. That's what the bleeper's for. Yeah, is it me? Or does it leave the next bit of food at the end of the tail? It does. Interesting. Well, it does say version 1 on the board, so well, I think we can safely say that's a working kit. Brilliant.